noise again. You might need to mute everyone again like you did before because it's new people.
Okay, thank you. Let me jump on that.
Already had treats today, sweet.
Where's here we go.
It's on there, darling.
They're all Facebook.
Yeah, they've got. Unless we got a completely new page.
No, darling, you've already had.
Here we go. Okay, so how do I mute everybody?
Honey.
Please ask everyone to mute. All right. Okay. Let's go along. Where's the mute everybody? Mute all. Okay. I hope everybody doesn't get any noise now. Is that better? It looks like it's better. Thumbs up. Thank you, ladies. Any gents among us? Any of the bros in? No, I'm vastly outnumbered. That's okay.
It worked.
It's on Facebook? Okay, wow.
So relieved.
All right.
Jeez. Okay, so it's 5 minutes past the hour. Took us a few minutes to get organised, but here
Thanks
we
for your
are.
patience.
Thank you, everyone.
Wonderful.
Now, unfortunately, Carly couldn't be here today. She's busy. I think she's tutoring. She does tutoring for primary school kids. And so she's, I think, busy with that today. But we have the wonderful Laurie, who's also on our team. She's here. She's waving. Hello. Hi, Laurie. So, guys, this challenge or this boot camp, we used to call it a challenge. This boot camp has been just one of the most beautiful that I've been a part of. I've just seen the most heartwarming, amazing comments from you guys saying what impact this small 10 days has had in your life. And we love that we can play a small part in your life. And if that's a small positive part, then it really just makes our day, and it just makes everything worth it. So we thank you for sharing all those wonderful comments. And I know that I actually wrote down some, Laurie helped me, 1 second. Some of these comments were just so outstanding.
I've had a couple. We have obviously a few participants or a few people who are with us here on the sunny coast, and a couple of the ladies have come to collect their goods that they've ordered. And yeah, two really awesome stories. The first one is from a lady called Sondra, sorry. I don't know if she's in the challenge this time around, but she is pretty addicted to the all-rounder. She tells me when she comes to collect that she's a nurse, and so she gets up early and has to have shakes, has to have something quick and simple that's not a noisy breakfast for the household. And she says she's tried a whole bunch of different shakes and packaged shakes and different things to help her to get through the morning. And a lot of them have left her wanting, a lot of them have left her with headaches or just not enough to sustain her. But she said once she jumped onto the all-rounder, she just has so much more energy, and it was really cool to hear. And another one was a report, not about the mum, but more about the daughter who's going through, what would you say? She's got a emotional roller coaster, would probably be the best, because of her dramas at school and assignments and whatnot. And she said that she actually is part of this challenge, and she jumped on, I think it was the all-rounder again too. But her daughter, after 2 days of having the morning smoothies, has balanced out really, really well. And it's so rewarding. I mean, to have them come and talk to us in person is fantastic. Yeah, and hear their stories. But you know, we've had a few more online, and a lot of reports that give us just that incredible feedback that just really drives us. So we're really stoked.
Yeah, I mean, like there's some of these here, like Jo was talking about how liberating this boot camp's been for her husband's health. You know, we might join for ourselves, but then like Jordan said, with the other two ladies, sometimes we might actually benefit our family members even more than ourselves, perhaps. And that ripple effect really is quite powerful. So it's just, we get the biggest kick out of actually seeing, you know, once you guys have been, you know, a few days in the boot camp and doing the things, to actually see how you're feeling, how your family members are feeling. Like, it's just amazing.
But we've got a junior watcher here.
Hey, Junior.
That is cute.
Can we see his name? That's Kim B. Hello, Kim.
Hey, buddy.
Kim is, I don't know whether anyone saw the thread that was going on in the group, but Kim actually posted a photo of her daughter. The caption was, "My daughter doesn't like smoothies. Also my daughter, thanks TWC." And her daughter was drinking a supercharged smoothie on the bus on the way to school.
Yeah, sweet.
And I thought to myself, hey, her uniform looks a little bit like our kids' uniforms. And so I showed my daughter and I said, oh, is this our same uniform? And she said, Mum, that's like my best friend, Amelia. Like she's just started at a new school and we haven't met a lot of her friends very much yet. And so she said, and that's my bus. I usually sit next to her on the bus, but she missed the bus that morning. And so, it was quite a cool way to meet Kim. So hello, Kim.
Lovely. So I guess to start off with this, we always like to give you guys a huge dose of kudos for the effort you've put in to make these small changes. And ultimately, it really needs to be acknowledged that it's a pretty big lifestyle change when we start to incorporate different foods into our diet. And as a lot of you have experienced, it's a truly positive change. Now, even if it's a small step, a lot of all the feedback we're getting is how much they're feeling better from having nutrient dense smoothies in the morning. And that's ultimately what we're here to do is to help, share the knowledge that it's really not that difficult to have a really full and nourishing breakfast, especially if you put a little bit of time into preparation. You can have 5 2-minute sessions per week to give you incredible breakfast. So you guys need to have a pat on the back for the small steps you're taking, and we know for ourselves that it's a small steps journey. Anyone who tries to jump into this whole food journey and overhaul overnight or over a weekend, it's just not sustainable. And there's a whole bunch of reasons for that, to do with our taste buds and to do with our conditioning and a whole bunch of reasons. But small steps consistently is what's going to bring about these incredibly impactful lifestyle changes and long-term health, avoiding a lot of the chronic disease that is rampant because of lack of nutrition and all these other issues that come with it. So awesome. Good on you guys.
Yeah, totally. And I think that we don't need to push ourselves beyond what's comfortable. Pushing ourselves past our comfort zone just a little is great, and just stay there just a little past your comfort zone, because if we're trying to go all in too quickly, it's really a recipe for disaster. We've been coaching people how to transition their families over to whole foods for 5 years now. And really that is the most successful way, is to just go slow. Don't expect your family to be on board right away. Smoothies, it's much easier because they're tasty and, they're great. But if you're finding that yourself or your kids aren't enjoying the smoothies, I know I've seen 1 or 2 people in the group who just said, I'm just not getting it yet, And so just be gentle on yourself and don't expect to, just don't put a whole serve in, because that is loaded with goodness. And if your taste buds aren't quite accustomed to all those different types of foods, then that's okay. Just start small. And as we said in the pre-party, you can totally start with a small amount and your taste buds will absolutely adjust and develop over time to not only accept that new taste, but really love it and embrace it. And the same can happen for your children and for your partner, whoever it might be. So don't give up if it's something that has just not quite landed with you just yet. So you can go small on the boosters, just a sprinkling, and then build it over time. And that is just such a wonderful thing to do for your health. And the same goes for those exposures. We won't go on about all the same tips that we gave at the pre-party, but remember, those exposures are really important. So ask your kids to pass you the kale to put in the smoothie or the blend or whatever it might be. Don't be shy to sort of show them what you're doing. You know your kids best. And sometimes I do just sneak it in on the side, but you can figure out whether that's best to do or just to be open with them.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of strategies. And as Lani mentioned, we covered a lot of them in the pre-party. So today, the agenda pretty much rolls like this. We're going to cover off on a few questions. There are a few questions that have been submitted by you guys, and we hope that if you still have a question, you can submit it, and we will hopefully have Laurie grab it and send it to us, or we'll be able to view it on the live chat. It's best, obviously, to drop it in the live chat. If you're on Zoom or on Facebook, how do they connect? I mean, are we going to see both comments simultaneously?
That's why I've asked Laurie to monitor both chats so that we don't miss anything, because it's hard for us to keep up with everything.
So anyway, we'll cover off on some questions. We'll run off some prizes. We've got a bunch of prizes to give to you guys. It'd be great if we could give everyone a prize, but we don't really have the resources to do that. And then we are going to sign off. Really, we're going to give you the for those of you who are looking to purchase some of the pre-made blends. We've got a coupon code for you, 20% off. So we'll drop that at the end. And yeah, if you have any questions you wanted us to try and cover here, shoot those in the DMs, and we'll hopefully get to them.
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
So Laurie, I can see in the Facebook chat, I can see some people having some tech problems. Could you try to help them out if you can, please? Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so Jane has asked, just wondering if the oats in the pre-made blends are gluten-free. We don't.
No, they're not. They're not gluten-free, Jane. What were you going to say?
Yeah, no, there you go.
Yeah, sorry. There's a whole big discussion we could have around gluten-free oats.
It's a tricky one.
It's a bit of a tricky one. We can obviously purchase gluten-free oats, but basically the difference is they're from America, where their labeling laws are different. So they can say gluten-free oats, whereas over here in Australia, it's not legal to label oats as gluten-free. And so many people think they're basically the same product, but just labeled differently. So we haven't gone down the gluten-free route. But if you wanted to, what we do with our gluten-free blends, like...
So we have the standard range, then we have what we call the gluten-free range. And basically it's wheat-free. So we don't have it, instead of oats, we have the quinoa flakes, and we've balanced out a bit more with some extra nuts and seeds to give some of the missing micronutrients. But yeah,
the minerals that are in the oats are really important as part of that balance of nutrition. Oh, thank you, Naz. So this is the gluten-free or the wheat-free choc all-rounder. And so the difference is, yes, we've swapped out the oats for quinoa flakes, and then we've actually added Brazil nuts in there too, because they replace that selenium that the oats remove. So that's an important thing to do.
Okay, we got to pin ourselves as the speaker.
There we go. Learn something new every day. Cool. Thanks, Laurie.
Well, that makes us big. I don't like that, but that's okay. All right, a couple more questions quick before we get into it. Laura wants to make sure that she doesn't miss out on the ginger kale smoothie. I'm going to drop that.
The ginger kale smoothie.
So if you're keen on that one, you got to record that down. We're not putting it down on paper anywhere because it's a bit of an insider secret.
Oh, really?
Yes. So that one, and what else is there?
What are you looking for? Questions?
Some questions at the moment.
Laurie's going to shoot through the questions. I've got the questions over here.
All right. Do you want to start with the questions then?
Yes. Okay, so...
Hang on, we'll just leave that. I just need to leave the live chat flowing, and we'll just minimize the other background one so you can...
I need that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to minimize the reach of it so it's not... So you can see all the aspects of it. Okay.
So Petra was asking for tips on keto smoothies. And it's so funny because in the past, when people have been asking about keto smoothies, I just have had no clue because I've just never gone down that route myself. And so as serendipity would have it, if you can say that, our daughter is going through a bit of a parasite cleanse. It's quite a long journey for her. We've just started it. And so I've decided to support her in that, and I've gone on the same regime, I guess. And so we're both basically living a keto lifestyle for 3 or 4 months. And so what that means is obviously we're going less on the carbs, higher on the good fats, and higher on the protein. And what we can do if you're looking at a supercharged smoothie that's a keto type of smoothie, the things that you can put in there that you may not expect to are things like cacao powder and coconut flour. Vanilla is obviously going to make it super delicious. Those nuts that are higher in fat, like macadamias, walnuts, hazelnuts, all those types of Brazil nuts as well, all those nuts are still A-okay, so long as you're not having too many. So I'm actually working on developing a keto supercharged smoothie blend, which will be available next month. I've been playing with a few at the moment. But seeds, you can still have all those wonderful seeds like chia and flax and hemp seeds, sunflower seeds even.
Sesame.
Yeah, sesame. Veggies, heaps of great veggies. You've got avocado, cauliflower, kale, spinach and zucchini. All of those are perfect to add into a smoothie because they really do, apart from the kale and the spinach sometimes, they're pretty unnoticeable. Like no one knows if you've put zucchini or kale in a smoothie. It's awesome. When it comes to fruit, you're obviously going to want to downplay the fruit in terms of fructose consumption. However, if you are wanting to decrease that fructose, and some of you may have seen this post in the group, one of the things that we're doing with our daughter is basically not having the sugars and the sweeteners, so that, because that's what the parasite loves. And so we're trying to starve the parasite by not giving it the sugars. So we actually ferment the fruit before putting it in the smoothie, and that sucks out all those sugars. Remember, we spoke about this in some of the videos. It sucks out all the sugars and puts in lots of probiotic goodness for the gut. So it's actually amazing. And I had been putting off trying it for a long time because I thought it would taste disgusting, but I've been really pleased that it doesn't. And I don't even miss the date paste, believe it or not. Mind blown, I'm not missing it. And so, yeah, we're working on a keto blend, but some of those tips hopefully will help. When it comes to fruit, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and peaches are great. And with the liquids, that's where you can put in a whole lot of those good fats too. So try coconut cream, pop in that MCT oil or the coconut oil, and try that cultured yogurt or Greek yogurt even as well. So
Angela mentions the fermented dates too.
Oh, Angela, I hadn't even thought about that. Of course, yes. That'd be awesome. I'm going to have to try that. Thanks, Ange. So Petra, I hope that helps. There was another person who asked a question, and I wish I had your name. I'm sorry, but Carly passed it on to me because I missed it in the group. But she said someone was asking about the difference. She said, is it better to use a little bit of lots of different ingredients, or is it better to use, what's the opposite? My mind is complete. A little bit of many ingredients, or
A lot of a few.
More of fewer ingredients. Basically, she was asking that question. Was that clear? It feels like it wasn't clear. Anyway, so I would love to delve into that for a second. Let's have a diversity 101 chat for just a minute. We have developed another boot camp, which we'd love to invite you to. We'll send you the link. It's called the Fiber Challenge, and the content was all created in conjunction with a gut guru. Her name's Kirsty Worth. And she has taught us a lot about fiber, right? And about the gut and how it works. So the key takeaway that I've learned from her is the importance of that diversity. And basically, diversity is king for gut health. And we don't actually even need that much of some of these wonderful foods. I mean, you might remember, which video was it in? It might have been in the Brain Boost video, where we talked about Dr. Joel Fuhrman, and he references all the time this study where this group of women who had breast cancer were given 1.3 milligrams of lignin a day, and they had this dramatic reduction in death rates from breast cancer, and it was all these wonderful things. And when I looked up how, the quantity of lignin in 1 teaspoon of linseeds, it was 7. So they were basically having a minuscule amount of linseed meal a day, and it was having such a dramatic impact. So we don't need to think that we need to pump heaps and heaps and heaps and heaps into our bodies. So
Unless you mean.
Unless you're
I go overboard.
Jordan, he does go overboard. But basically, when it comes to diversity in our gut, we have 500 trillion species of microbes in our gut. Those microbes dictate 90% of our health. So we're 10% DNA, we're 90% microbes or bacteria. It's hard to believe, I know. But those microbes dictate the quality of our health, both physically and largely mentally as well. Our gut generates over 90% of our neurotransmitters, things like serotonin and all those wonderful things that we want lots of. And so if we're not feeding all those microbes what they need to thrive and to multiply and replenish, then they literally go extinct. And so we need lots of different types of fibers and nutrients going in there into our gut and feeding those microbes. Because if we don't, what we've found, but what the studies have found is that, for an example, those with type 2 diabetes have been found to have an extinction of a microbial species called Akkermansia. Now, we can get Akkermansia from foods like cacao powder, yay! And so, by having a good quality chocolate food, we're feeding that particular strain of microbes, which then helps us prevent these diseases like type 2 diabetes. And so what we need is that diverse range of foods and nutrients and fibers all going in there doing their thing. Because if we don't, that's the recipe for ill health. So I hope that helps answer your question. Do you want to just mention Kaya's stool test?
Yeah.
Probably sick of my voice already.
So we had Kaya tested recently for her microbiota diversity and getting an understanding of how her gut is traveling in its
our 14-year-old
health spectrum. And yeah, we were incredibly surprised at how diverse her gut microbiota is. She tested in the 93rd percentile, I think it was.
91st, yeah.
91st percentile, which is really good, because we were concerned that she wasn't getting enough diversity, even enough food. So we were really pleased that she was getting sufficient diversity. And as Lainey mentioned, it doesn't take a huge amount of the diverse fibers to feed our microbiota and get them to flourish. So, you know, we've developed our blends around just a couple of scoops, so 53 grams in total. And within them, it ranges from, I think, probably 8 ingredients to
15 or so.
Yeah, quite a few. So, you know, if you're using the blends, that's plenty of diversity. So you don't really want to referencing a certain fiber product on the market, which is pretty much 90% one fiber, and then
psyllium husk.
Yeah, 90% psyllium husk, which psyllium husk in and of itself is great, but you know, getting more and more of the one fiber is nowhere near as beneficial as getting small amounts of a lot of different fibers, because there are trillions of strains in our gut, and we don't know yet, but it makes sense that each of them feed off different fibers. And when we do increase diversity in our gut, the result is the biodiversity flourishes. And so it stands to reason that there's a correlation between the two, and maybe even causation. So
and actually that gut guru, Kirsty Worth, who does teach in the fiber challenge that you'll be invited to, she says that the quantity of fiber is just important as the diversity of fiber. And so, you know, they do go hand in hand.
Yeah, cool. So I hope that works. We've got a couple more questions to get through here. Let's find where we're at.
Real quick, Megan, I can see a question there. I'll just answer it while we're bringing up the question sheet. Yes, you can absolutely use coconut yogurt in your strawberries and cream smoothie. Any yogurt will be great taste-wise and be contributing lots of those good fats and things, so that's great. The cultured yogurt is really for those people who want to add in a whole bunch of therapeutic level of probiotics. So it's not an essential part of the smoothie, but it is a great booster. Apologies for the sound of the truck arriving. We've got a delivery here at the warehouse.
Collection, actually.
Oh, collection. Some orders going out.
So Misha mentioned about the sweet fiber blend. Glad you love it, mate. Yeah, it's a really great addition to boost the diversity of fiber, sprinkling on sweet foods. And a lot of people use it in, you said you put it in muffins, biscuits. Yeah, you bake with. Yeah, awesome. Fantastic. Great use. Yeah, that was noisy. Okay, Veronica has asked, try to get a 5-year-old daughter to drink the smoothie, but she won't. She only wants a banana smoothie, so what can I do? I just use banana milk and caramel I use to make it healthy.
Veronica, have we got some tips for you? Can you tell everyone what Max has dubbed his famous banana smoothie?
He calls it his world famous, is it world famous? Famous banana smoothie. And now Rosie has picked up that lingo as well. So she says, can I have Max's famous banana smoothie? It's not famous at all. It's famous within 2 people, but that's okay.
He asked me to film it while he made it and post it to YouTube, which I never did.
Oh, so he thinks it's famous when really it's not famous. So he's going to grow up with this, thinking everyone knows him for this banana smoothie recipe. Okay, yeah, anyway.
So that explains that.
As far as I'm aware, it's banana, milk, and cinnamon.
That's it.
And so
they always ask me to make it, right? And you know me, of course, I'm not just going to put banana, milk, and cinnamon in the smoothie. So what I can get away with without them noticing, and I have made some where they have noticed the difference. So I feel like I've played with it so much that I can tell you what has worked for our kids. And so what I have found works for their banana smoothie, and I'll just preface this by saying that they do accept our regular smoothies, but when they do ask for this special smoothie, this is what I can get away with. So I do put a little bit of the gut loving blend in, not even half. I probably do like 3/4 of one scoop, and one serve is 2 scoops. That's why I said it's less than half. So I put a little bit of that in. I put some MCT oil in, which I know he already accepts because he likes cow's milk, right? But we don't always have cow's milk, and sometimes we go seasons without it. And so what he's found is that almond milk is so watery, but when he adds MCT oil in, it tastes more like cow's milk because almond milk is kind of missing that fat that cow's milk has. And so the MCT introduces that good fat, so it tastes more like cow's milk to him. So he's like, yes, put the MCT in, but you can also get away with golden flax meal because it's nice and soft and fluffy. It's not going to get noticed. You can also get away with frozen cauliflower, zucchini, and sweet potato. Those ones won't get noticed in a banana smoothie. A little bit of cultured yogurt. I'm talking 1 teaspoon. And actually, 1 teaspoon gives you a whole heap of those probiotics. And our daughter is told to have 1 teaspoon of that a day. So really, it is quite powerful. We have a dehydrated broth powder. You can get it at the Whole Food Collective. It basically goes in anything, and you don't really taste it. So I put broth powder in there. Psyllium husk is another one that won't get noticed. And lastly, a little bit of maca powder. So those are, if you are able to put that in a banana smoothie, that's rocking.
Yeah. So even if you just want to not go so detailed there, just grab a blend and start with a teaspoon of it. And it really starts with a little bit of addition, and then you slowly build yourself up. So you find to the point where you work backwards to the point where she can't, where he can't. Not sure if it's a son or a daughter. Daughter, sorry, where she can't notice it, and then you build up from there. It's about, slowly improving whilst the palate has time to adjust. And your taste buds regenerate every 30 days or so, 40 days or so. Therefore, just be persistent with little amounts and slowly build it up. And that typically works for most people. On that point, it's really important to understand, I think, that we are creatures of habit and we are conditioned to be a certain way in every aspect of our being. And our taste buds and our taste palate is no different. So if we're used to a certain diet, then any variation from that diet will be picked up and noticed. So, these I guess micro adjustments are really important to, over time, take us from point A to point B. There's great analogies that talk about it. If you're in a boat and you're traveling a distance, and if you just adjust your direction 1 degree, then at the end of the journey, you'll be far off course or closer to being on course. So therefore, these small adjustments, these micro adjustments are really important because this is a marathon, guys. If we really want the benefits, the long-term benefits of a healthy lifestyle in terms of our consumption, then you really have to make those small steps. And you start with as small as necessary in order for them to be undetected to begin with. So you guys need to figure that out. Anyway, hope that answers the questions. We've had a couple of questions over here. I know Mel wants us to talk about blenders. Sorry, Kelly has asked that. Yeah, we'll get to that for sure.
Laurie's going to add them in at the bottom here.
Oh, okay, really? Okay, that's the live document. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Glad you're loving the tips, Roxanne.
Ah, good, Roxanne.
So Mel has asked, interested in keto recipes. What are your thoughts on adding milk to your smoothies as the liquid? I do that. I love a non-homogenized organic cow's milk.
We do. I'm not sure whether this brand is available everywhere, but we love the Baramba Organics brand.
Yeah. Awesome. Also, there's local Maloney dairies up here that do a good unhomogenized milk. But yeah, absolutely. I add them to that's what I like the most. When I don't have a good full cream milk, I add a bit of avocado just to boost it out. Or as Laney said, the MCT oil gives a nice lipids or a fat content boost to your smoothies, which adds to the creaminess. Which type of MCT oil do you recommend for the whole family to use?
Mel, I looked at that brand of MCT oil that you posted, which was Melrose MCT Pro Rapid, and it's pretty much the same as other MCT oils, and it looks pretty good. But in my experience with consulting with our external expert panel in every ingredient that we ever put in any of our foods and offer on the store, sometimes I get surprised with, when you ask for the spec sheet from the supplier, what is actually revealed is quite different to what's on labels sometimes. Like one example the other day, my goodness, I went to the Ninja Jungle place for the kids, and in the fridge they had a sparkling juice, and on the can it just said it was juice with carbonated carbonated water. And so I contacted them. I said, we'd love to stock your products, but can you first send me a spec sheet so I can check out how you process it, what processing aids you use. But I didn't even have to go that far. They sent me their ingredient list, and it had 3 other ingredients that were not declared on the can. I was like, what the heck? So anyway, we've ditched that supplier. But the point is that I feel like I need to probably consult them, because some of those percentages of the medium chain triglycerides and was it corporic acid and things just wasn't quite within my realm of expertise. So Mel, I'm happy to ask the panel on your behalf, and I'll get back to you. That was long-winded.
Yeah, it was a little bit, but also I think it's also at this point important to point out that we don't have to be so intense. I mean, I know a lot of people get introduced to a lifestyle through the challenges we do and feel inadequate potentially because they feel they're so far from a lot of the standards that are being discussed. And it's really, really, really important to note and to accept that whatever changes you're making, even if it's just a mindset change to begin with, is really positive. And so, start small and make the micro adjustments in your own lifestyle as well as in the lifestyle of your children and family, and not ever feel bad because you're not at the level of somebody else. Comparisonitis is an incredibly potent and terribly damaging mentality. We don't need to worry about who else is doing what, because as long as we're facing the right direction and we are making incremental changes and steps to get to there, that's the most important thing, because whatever we've come from is really irrelevant to where we're going, because it's an individual journey. And so, it's really, really important to remember that, those small steps, and to not worry about where everyone else is at, but just be focused on what small changes can I make in my family's health and in my health today or this week. And if you just commit to that small steps mentality, then you'll eventually be where you want to be. And we don't ever need to get so crazy about a lot of what can be potentially in an ingredient or how it was processed. The reason we do that at that level is because we have a few of our people in our community that are incredibly sensitive to different additives. So most people won't be, but some are, and therefore we go to those lengths in order to provide that service to these guys. So
that's a really good point that you made. Thank you for raising that. I think because every day I'm talking with these experts about the minute details about stuff like that, it just kind of comes out of my mouth, and then I'm glad you picked that up, so thank you. No, guys, you have to realize how incredibly awesome it is that you're making any form of positive change in your health, because this is where I can potentially go on a tangent rant when it comes to corporate food marketing and how the industry has evolved. Actually, we're developing an education course that's quite in depth, and one of those sections is going to be on food corporations and marketing. And it is insane to have a macro view of how we've progressed as a society. And basically we've been hijacked, and all the messaging has been flipped on its head, and we're in, as a society, in such an unhealthy state because of what we consume. And that's not just in food, but mostly in our food. So whatever you can do to go back to the bare bones whole food in any meal, in any form, just start there and start to move forward from that point. But there's a process, and there's
there's a way to do it really, really well that's not overwhelming. And that's sort of what the education course will be based around. But anyway.
Kelly's just mentioned she was one of the participants of the very first ever 21-day
Whole Food My
Family
Yeah.
Challenge. Amazing.
And Kelly, that'll be sort of like the precursor to the bigger program that we're doing, because we realize that it's so important for people to, if they're coming into this adjustment of lifestyle, that having guidelines that help us to make the most positive changes at the right time can be so powerful. So we really want people exposed to that. So anyway.
Yeah, thank you. That's a really good point. You can see on the chat there that people really appreciate that reminder. So thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
I can see lots of other questions coming through. Laurie's going to add them to the sheet that we're looking at. So we'll just work through in order. And Laurie, the Facebook Live will stay in the Facebook group, so they will have that recorded.
There you go. All right. So Laura has asked, tips for how you feed a large family, all with smoothie goodness. Do you have to make several different batches? How do you prep for that many?
Good question, Laura. You must have a few kids like us.
Yeah.
When we're feeding everyone a smoothie for breakfast, we simply make two blenders full, because the kids don't have as much as we have, but they have, you know, a smaller amount, even less than probably 1/3 of our smoothie they would probably have.
Yeah.
And so we've got 5 kids, and so two blenderfuls just does it fine for us. And so I think as long
we don't
as
even use that many, 2 blenderfuls.
if we're feeding everyone at once, including
maybe
both
1
of
and a
us.
half.
Yeah, but as long as your freezer just stays, you know, organized with the prep that we've been doing together over that 10 days, just keep your sweet potato on churn, keep your soaked cashews in there. So long as you have that and it's accessible, because right now our freezer is kind of not very organized, right? And it's made it harder and less easy to just go, woo, let's whip something up. And so one of my jobs over the holidays is to clean out that freezer and just get it organized again, because when it is organized, it's beautiful and it's just so easy. So keep your freezer organized, just do 2 batches in your blender if you need to, and just make sure you've got, you know, your blend on hand just to keep it easy. Keep it light and fun for your family too. I mean, you've learnt so much in this challenge, or at least you guys have said, you know, you've learnt so much in this challenge. And if we're trying to sort of transpose that onto our kids and kind of expect them to have all these different things, you know, I know it's easy with the blend and stuff, but with Whole Foods in general, it's really important that we don't just expect what we want for our family right away. And, you know, Jordan's covered off on that already. We don't need to go down that tangent, but just keep it light and fun and be patient and be okay with them just having a small amount at a time. Totally fine.
One thing I guess we haven't really touched on, and it's a small point, but how intuitive you guys were at grabbing your prep ingredients and putting them in small bags and putting them in the freezer, because we've never really spoken about that as a directive, yet everyone's just switched on that, which I thought was pretty cool with this group.
Yeah.
You guys are all just
onto it,
grabbing those ingredients that you want to put for specific recipes, popping them in a little bag and freezing them. It's really, really, it's such an effective way. If you spend 10 minutes chopping up fruit and veg at the beginning of the week on a Sunday afternoon or whatnot, and pop them into individual bags, plan 5 days worth of smoothies, put them in there. You're literally grabbing a liquid and then grabbing your bag of pre-frozen goods and then dumping in a scoop or 2 of the blends, and that's it. And then you're blending it for a minute. So super, super cool. There was, on that note, someone previously asked about about scoops and serves and whatnot. Apologies for the mild inconsistencies in our language in terms of a serving and the scoop. These blends come with a scoop in it. The jars of blends, 10 servings in a jar, and each of those scoops, a heaped scoop is half a serve. So two of those scoops that come in the jars equals 1 serve, 10 serves in a jar. If you got the sample bags, each of those little sachets is 1 full serving, or 53 grams worth. So,
but some people choose to just put one, like a half, like 1 scoop or a half serve in, which is great too. But if you want a fully complete, nutritionally balanced meal, then do the 2.
But I just want to say, you're welcome, guys. We are really passionate about being able to provide a positive influence onto people who are participating in these challenges. And it was interesting when we first developed them is you just take for granted what you've garnered in terms of knowledge over the years. And so when we'd share it with people, it was, you just forget that just because you know something doesn't mean other people are aware of that. And so sharing has really helped us to, to feel like we're part of a positive movement. And we both know that there's very little that's more important than feeding our body with incredible food. So, we're super stoked and chuffed you guys get so much out of it. That's why we keep loving to do it. We keep developing all these new blends that people are just falling over themselves to get and love, and the feedback is so incredible. So we're really passionate and really driven about maintaining what we're doing, and just really stoked you guys are getting lots out of it.
Thanks, Nicole.
Yeah.
So the time's ticking on, and I'd like to personally listen to Jordan all day, but we've got lots of questions still to get through.
And the giveaways.
Yeah, so I think maybe what we'll do is we'll answer maybe 3 more and then do the giveaways and then come back to the questions for those who can stay on.
Yeah, or even we might even just type out the answers maybe.
Yeah, maybe we'll answer them, and we won't leave any questions unanswered, don't worry. Do you want to read this one out?
Sarah, I might miss some of the live due to a meeting. Yep, I know that feeling. But if I want to be super organized and prep already blended smoothies for work week, do they keep well in the fridge? Thank you so much for this amazing program. You're welcome, Sarah.
Oh, she says it's kept me on the track I need to be on for my health. Yes.
Sweet. Yeah, we sometimes need nudges and reminders just to stay on track, and that's totally cool. We all get distracted with things. That's natural.
So Sarah's asking if she can blend for the week in advance and leave it in the fridge. So Sarah,
I'd say no.
I would say no too. For one, both taste and also nutrition. You could do it. Look, some people blend a double for the next day and they still like it. I personally don't. For me, if I was to do that, I would then reblend it with ice just to make it feel fresh again. They can oxidize, which one just makes it a bit of a brownie color, but also does, I guess, reduce that nutrition. But having said that, it's better to make it in advance and then have it the next day or the day after than not having it at all. That nutrition's not going to get wiped out. It will decrease marginally. So put it that way.
But I think not much in a couple of days. It's mostly about texture and about, so just reinvigorating it.
The best advice I can give you, Sarah, and also Jo Whitehead, I saw her asking the same question, is to blend for the week ahead, but then freeze in your serving sizes. And then the night before, just take one out of the freezer and put it in the fridge to defrost overnight, because then it will still be fresh, it will still be cold, and it's a great solution. You're not having to blend every day and wash out your blender. Does that make sense?
Okay, I'm going to pause here and I'm going to drop the ginger kale smoothie since it's been mentioned a few times in the comments, and I would hate to forget it because I did say that we'd cover it off. So this is an important thing to know about this smoothie is you have 2 really dominant flavors, and that is the ginger and the cacao. So those 2 are really dominant, really strong flavors. And so the great thing about those 2 is you can hide a whole bunch of other ingredients underneath those dominant flavors. And that's where I come with kale. Now, kale, in my usage experience, has to be frozen. Otherwise, it is way too strong. Like if you freeze kale,
I didn't know that.
It reduces its potency in terms of flavor. So freeze your kale, absolute must do. So I'll rattle off the ingredients, then we'll talk quantities. So there's obviously ginger. I drop my ginger in first. Then I grab my frozen kale, drop that in. Then we go for ginger kale. I might put in, I'll put in a couple of, or one frozen banana or a couple of those small mini bananas we've got off the back tree. And then we have, it'll vary a small handful of nuts. So I might go cashews, or I might go walnuts or macadamias if I'm feeling decadent. And then we go for, sometimes I'll drop in, to get some interesting fibers, I'll drop in some frozen raspberry. And that also supports the flavor a little bit. So that's typically the base is sort of there: ginger, kale, a nut or a small handful of nuts, and some frozen raspberries. I'll also do another vegetable. So I'll either do half an avocado or a carrot. Okay.
Oh yeah, he puts carrot in everything and chili.
Not everything. Anyway.
I would suggest we need to write it. We need to write the recipe down, like quantities for everyone.
Yeah. So the quantities. We haven't finished outlining
Really?
what the ingredients are.
Sorry, go on.
I use 2 medjool dates or 2 spoonfuls of date paste. And if we don't have any of that, either of those 2 things, I'll do a healthy dollop of maple, maybe a tablespoon of maple, roughly. And then I'll use
a very big serving.
Yeah, my servings are 750 ml to 1 litre. So I really chock it in. I'll then put in a 500 mils of liquid. And that is typically that really nice full cream milk that I mentioned before. Otherwise, if I'm looking for it to be a little bit sweeter, I'll put in coconut water. And so that's my liquid in. And then I put in what I'm referenced as the Chocolate Rounder Plus. Now, let me just explain what that is. So the plus aspect, so it's the Chocolate Rounder. I do a massive, it's probably a 5 litre jar at home. It's a giant one of a Chocolate Rounder, but I make it a bit differently. It's a bit heavier than the standard all-rounder. I remove the coconut sugar to start with, and I put in maca powder, sesame seeds, cacao nibs, and a bunch of other things. So that's why I call it the Chocolate Rounder Plus. So I add that as my booster, and I actually put in half a cup of the booster, and then I'll dump in another 1/4 cup of cacao powder.
It's intense, guys.
It's pretty intense. But circling back to the quantities, probably a double thumb size of ginger, and that's because I love ginger, the potency of ginger, the flavor of ginger. I really get a lot of, and just the blood benefits of ginger is just insane.
Yeah, we get it. We're going through half a kilo of ginger a week at the moment. It's a bit crazy.
So yeah, a double thumb size, so a decent bulb of ginger. I put in the stalk of kale is either 1 stalk or 1.5 stalks of frozen kale, but just the leaf. I don't put the stem in.
The stem is the most bitter part of kale. So if you're adding kale to your smoothie, then remove the stem.
So just I break off the leaf of the kale, and yeah, a small handful of nuts, a sprinkle of raspberries, 500 ml of liquid, a small carrot or a 1/4 of avocado, and then half a cup of all-rounder plus, and another 1/4 cup of cacao, and then you blend. Now, I'll segue from that into blenders because
yes. Lots of people have been asking about blenders.
My current ginger kale all-rounder plus is quite chunky, and with our blender currently, as I mentioned the pre-party, it's not a very good one because we broke our really good one, and I'm just loath to spend some extra money on replacing that again. Anyway, yeah, so it comes out quite bitsy and chunky because the blender level is it's suboptimal. If you've got anything over sort of a 750, 1,000 watt blender, it should handle decent chunky size frozen fruits and vegetables. If you're dropping below the 750, what you might find is that if you're doing big, thick chunks of frozen goods, it might struggle a bit and you might have some burnout in your engine. So you need to freeze your portions in smaller sizes if you have a sub 750 watt blender. And also the actual blade configuration is really important too. The blender we're using right now has just got the blades that they sit horizontal and they spin, they rotate like that. They're multi-level, but that doesn't make them as, it doesn't.
I've got a call from the kids' school. Sorry guys, I must take it. I'll be right back.
It doesn't reduce the texture as much as our previous blender was a Kenwood. It was a 1250 watt. Yeah, there you go, Becky, the Kenwood. It has a configuration of blades that looks like this, and so it really gets the frozen goods and the textured goods incredibly smooth. I know that those of you who have a what's the name of that fan dangle machine? that some people use anyway. You know what I'm talking about, but it's that makes incredibly smooth smoothies. The Thermomix, thank you, Roxanne. The Thermomixes make the smoothest smoothies without much liquid at all. So
No, that's the Vitamix.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
no, the Thermomix does it as well.
Yeah, I get varying reports from people
really?
about the Thermomix. There's apparently the key is 2 minutes on speed 9, adding ice halfway through. That's apparently the magic formula for the Thermomix. But some people say that it does turn out a little bit bitsy. So the Vitamix is like the cream of the crop, but we loved the Kenwood Multi-Pro.
Yeah, the Kenwood really worked really well. But anyway, so that's basically when you're considering blenders, you've got to consider the wattage determines how powerful that engine's going to be, and therefore it's going to get through the chunkier things better than the sub 750 watt blenders. So just keep that in mind, and also your blade configuration has some influence on the overall texture of what you're doing. So that's the Ginger Kale Chocolate Plus. Moving on to the blenders. Now we're going to quickly give away. We've taken some time today.
Yeah, guys, we're almost at the hour.
We get carried away.
So we're almost at the hour mark, and there's still quite a few questions. What I will do is pop in over the weekend, and I'll do a second Q&A session just to make sure we get all the answers.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Commitment. All right.
So we need pen and paper.
No, we've got
you've got the thing this
I've
time.
got a map.
We're a bit organised. Okay, giveaway time.
Yeah, we're going to give away some prizes. We're going to do some random generation. So this is how we give away prizes, guys. What we do. Oh, we didn't turn the. Hope you guys can still hear us. The cool rooms.
I did text Naz and Mike to
generators kicked in, and it's a bit noisier. We'll try and speak up. That's all right. Thumbs up if you can hear us all right still, yeah? Hopefully you can hear us all right. All good, okay. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. All right, so we're going to give away some prize packs. Now, each of the prize packs contains one of the 10-serve supercharged smoothie boosters.
Plus an accessory.
So 3 of the accessories will be insulated tumblers. And we're going to also give away some straws and some
ice cream
smoothie pop molds, we can call them, for this.
Smoothie pop molds. These are the best, guys.
Activity.
If you're looking at getting some, there are bigger ones, but these are the best ones for smoothie leftovers, particularly if you're giving them to kids, because you don't want to waste them. So these are nice and small.
Yeah.
And lots of people ask how to get them.
I was just going to say,
we
better cover that.
I know. So they come with paddle pop sticks, and all you need to do, there's a slit there. You've just got to force them through there the first time, and then they're easy to get through in other times.
Yeah, okay.
So there's the first one. Let's do the gut loving blend with the ice cream molds.
Okay, so we've got a random number generator.
What we'd like them to do.
Yeah. Got a random number generator. So what we ask you guys to do is to jot down in a sentence or two, one sentence is fine, your biggest takeaway from the Supercharged Smoothie Challenge. And then after that, put your full stop, then put a number between 1 and 100. And what we're going to do is we're going to run, as we go through, we're going to do 5 randomly generated numbers. And obviously, if you have chosen that number, then you get the prize. Have we got a policy for double ups?
We'll do a redraw.
Redraw, okay. So if you guys can start adding those in, Laurie's going to try and record what's going on. And I've got, just don't put 32 because it started on 32, the random generator. Don't put 32. But from here on, we're going to click on some randomization. I'm going to shake my phone so you can see it live. And then we're going to see
whoever gets the closest
and
to
first.
That number.
Okay, so 38 is the number. And Joe, is that how you pronounce the name? Yoki? Is that how you pronounce your name? You've just won the first prize pack, which is the gut loving.
We'll send this off to you, but
no, we won't send it. They need to reach out to us and give them a code.
Thank you. Could you tell them how to do that?
Okay, so just reach out to hello at the Whole Food Collective.
.com.au.
Yep, and just let us know your name and that you won prize pack, whichever number. Yoki, you've won prize pack number 1, and we're going to keep going to do some more.
Right on. Okay, so let's do. That's the gluten-free one. Okay, so there are gluten-free options. There's a keto and a vegan gut-loving blend coming next month.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you require the ones without wheat, the gluten-free options with the quinoa flakes, just let us know in the email that you'd prefer the gluten-free version rather than the standard version.
And just to clarify, there is no wheat as an ingredient in any of the blends. It's just that oats can be grown or processed in places that also grow or process wheat, therefore can become contaminated. So those who are very sensitive to oats, you know, would choose the gluten-free or the wheat-free ones.
Okay. All right.
Next up.
Oh, he's taken it out of the box.
Yeah,
even.
they got to see it. That's a boring box. You can't just show them the box.
Sure. Okay. So the Choco Rounder and the
Ever Eco tumbler.
Yeah, insulated tumbler. Okay, so we're going to go. The next one is shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it.
Shake it like a
dang, it was 84. If anyone saw that, it was 84. Number 84. Laurie, can you find number 84 and see if we've got a winner for that one?
I love some of these comments, guys. Yes, 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 yes. Love it. Okay, I know it's late, so we won't keep going with the reading everyone's comments.
The second one is, or the third one, we'll go for
Let's do Supercharged Immunity. We've actually got some beautiful new packaging coming as well.
That's right.
Did you intend?
That's meant to be with the straws, but that's okay.
For what reason?
Because it's cold, don't speak on that. Balances out. Okay, this is a peach Ever Eco stainless steel tumbler, insulated, and the Supercharged Immunity.
Colors. You can't match those colors any better than that. Look at that.
Look at that. Yeah, that was set up. Okay, so the
Megan says the Immunity is her favorite.
Okay, so
Jody got 84 first.
There you go. Congratulations, Jody. She got the all-rounder prize pack. Well done.
Thanks, Laura.
And so the Immunity prize pack is for number 67. Laurie, if you could find if anyone guessed 67.
And we need to be checking in Facebook too, right?
Okay, yeah, I guess so. Well, we'll just have to, lucky we've got timestamps. Okay, so the next one is the Supercharged Detoxify.
The Green Goddess Detoxify with some drinking
stainless
straws.
Steel drinking straws.
I love these straws.
Yeah, they're rad.
If you're getting straws to go with these tumblers, I'm just trying to think which ones. These are the 8 ml ones. Some of them are too wide for the tumbler. So
really?
Yeah, I'm just going to make sure.
Well, they won't be given with a tumbler anyway, but.
Well, that's true. That's true. I think the 8 ml ones are fine. Okay, so here's the, oh no, that's the next one. Okay, so the straws and the detoxify, guys.
Okay, so
Melissa's fave was the detox. Woo! Nice
work. Okay, so the number for this one is that we already had 84, didn't we? We've got to do a redraw. Or was that 48? No, it's 84.
Yeah, we see in reverse on our screen.
57 for the detox. Laurie, if you could note that down, please, mate. Okay. And yeah, if we don't get one right on the number, it'll be the closest guess to that. All right, so the next one is the Supercharged Brain Boost.
And look again, this is totally coincidence. Look at that. Colors again.
Wow, they can't really see the colors that well because it's a bit
purple.
There we go.
Purple and purple. Okay, so we've got the Brain Boost and the insulated tumbler. Now remember, you can get kids, well, they're actually called wine tumblers on the website. I think that's what they were designed for, is for wine, to keep your wine chilled. But we use them for kids' smoothie tumblers, and they're the best.
Yeah. Okay, so we drew that one already, didn't we? 57 or something.
No, I think we've still got to draw this one. I'm pretty sure we've still got to draw this one. Can anyone help us out there? I think we do. They're all high numbers. Oh, Misha.
Okay, the convenience in the blends. Okay, cool. Okay, so the last one, I'm pretty sure the last one, was that the last one? That was the last one.
That was the last one, but I think we've only given out 4. I think we've only drawn 4 numbers.
Laurie, have we done more than 4 numbers, or was that 5 numbers? Oh, she's probably watching the numbers everyone's popping in.
Okay. Well, before we draw another one, if we need to, should we give out the...
Melissa, I'm so confused. Sorry.
So sorry, Melissa.
You do another draw. Pretty sure that was 4. Okay, one more. Oh, Laurie only has 3. Okay.
We might need to watch the replay because there's definitely 4, I'm sure.
Yeah, we've done 4. We'll just cover off the replay because it's only the last part, Laurie. Don't worry about it. Okay, the fifth one for
Yeah,
the
it was the
brain boost.
The brain
Okay,
boost and the purple tumbler.
is 35.
Anyone get 35 already? I think I saw 37 in there somewhere. We already drew 38,
Oh, someone's got 32.
but it could be on Facebook too because we don't have that.
True,
tracking.
true.
So,
Anyway,
Laurie,
congratulations to
we'll come
whoever
back
got
to you.
35 or closest to it. Yeah, that was just a little bit.
It's fun to send all these goodies
Yeah.
out to you.
So make sure if you are if you're you were the prize winner or you got closest, we'll go through. We'll get Laurie to go through the replay and just clarify, and then if you know if you've won, though, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
But Laurie will record your number, and if we haven't heard from you, we'll reach out and let you guys know. But we'll give you a coupon code. You can jump on the store and just add the coupon code, and make sure your products are in your cart that you won, and we'll let them know. We'll let you know if we don't hear from you what those are, and if you don't remember them, just reach out and tell us roughly what it is, and we'll sort it out. Anyway,
Now
we've got
we
to come
have-
up with a more efficient way of giving prizes. This is getting a bit.
Every time we're like, did that work? No, that didn't work. Okay, so when it comes to actually giving you guys this savings code, look, I know we've had messages from people who have had their cart filled
Oh yeah.
a week ago and they're waiting. So Laurie said 32 is the closest. So let's go ahead and
I'll
give
drop
out
it in
that
the
code.
DMs.
The code is SSBlends20.
And that's active now. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's active now. So we're at 3 o'clock. I just need to edit the email before it goes out. But at 3 o'clock, you'll get an email with a link to a page that will host all of the videos that you can binge watch if you missed some, because I know life gets busy. You might have missed some, right? They'll be available until midnight Monday. Your ebook download link is also there. Do you want to put the address of the website in there too, so they can get it straight away before 3 o'clock since they've turned up live? Yeah, Angela, I get it. So on that page is the binge watch videos, the ebook, the savings code, and all the links to purchase those blends if that's what you want to do. And
there's also for those who are wanting to do that, there's an anti-procrastination bonus.
oh yes, that's right. Yes. So we decided to come up with this cool. Actually, Jordan came up with this cool name, right?
Well,
Anti.
It's less uncool than other names.
It's an anti-procrastination bonus. So if you do go ahead and place an order in the next, but before midnight tomorrow night, we're going to send you lifetime access to the videos, which will normally be accessed by, like, people usually buy them for $57 to get lifetime access to those videos that we've shared with you for free during the boot camp. So when you order before midnight tomorrow, we will give you that lifetime access as well.
Yeah. So there is / I'm pretty sure that's. I'm just going to test this link just to make sure that I've
made it live.
done it right.
No, it is. I'm sure that's right. Yeah.
Booyah. Okay.
Jordan built that page yesterday.
Okay. Thank you, darling.
It was good. I'm giving you props. That's good. Didn't sound like it, but it was meant to.
So yeah, if you guys want to jump on that, catch up on any of the videos you might have missed. So if you want to go and get some more detail, get some more detail, go over those videos again and check out, if you want to check out a bit more about the blends, feel free to do so. We really are truly grateful you've joined us on this challenge and hope that you guys push it out to your friends, invite people to come in. We're doing another one in a couple of weeks, actually. Another Supercharged Smoothie boot camp.
So the 4th of October.
If you've loved it, tell your friends to look out for it. We'll reach out to you with a link to share with them to get them to jump into the free challenge. And we'd love to be spreading this message to more and more people, and everyone realizes how simple it is to really flourish through super high and nutritious simple foods in the morning and these supercharged smoothies. So we really hope that you guys are feeling full and fulfilled and empowered to go forward and make some incredible positive steps, no matter where you are on the journey, just keep making those great steps forward. And hello at thewholefoodcollective.com.au if you want to reach out about anything.
I will also send you an invitation to our main Facebook group so you can keep hanging out with us
That's
and
on the binge watch
ask
page.
us. Oh, good. Yeah. Okay. So
at
on
the
that
bottom, yeah.
on that binge watch page, once you scroll through the blends, you'll see the binge watch videos. And underneath that is a button to join our Facebook group. So
At the
that
bottom of the page, yeah.
because this pop-up group, the Supercharged Smoothies October group, will be closed on Wednesday. So yeah, do come over and join us.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track. If we try to keep track of every group, it would just be a nightmare.
Yeah.
So come and join the collective community, which is our main Facebook group, and we always talk about really cool things. You know, we've got some great recipe website that's almost ready.
Yes.
Which is really cool. And yeah, we're talking all things whole food and how to really empower yourself and maximize your health through these incredible foods. So thanks a lot for joining us. Hope you have a great weekend.
And I'll pop in tomorrow inside the Facebook group, and I'll post the replay on YouTube for those who are not in the group, because there were tons of questions that we did not get to today.
Yeah.
So we will get through them all tomorrow. And thank you so much. We're grateful for you guys participating, because you threw yourselves in, and it takes a lot of dedication to show up every day, do the work, watch the videos. Life is busy, so we really appreciate your time. And if you can't tell, we just love doing this, and it's just great to share that with you. So thank you.
And keep sharing in the collective community your journeying with smoothies. You know, if you're getting some wins, having some challenges, reach out. It's a really, really warm community. People like you just really wanting to improve and helping each other is a really cool thing. So, yep. Make the most of it, guys. Have a great weekend. Peace.
Bye,
Peace,
guys.
love, and supercharged smoothies.
Thanks for being here.
See you later.
See ya.